Dayton police are reporting 91 stolen cars since the new year, and the majority of those cars are Kia and Hyundais.
Now, this comes after a series of viral videos popped up teaching people how to break into the cars and steal them. Now, as you can imagine, this has been causing chaos for car owners. Clara Faith is live tonight. And Clara, I understand you spoke with police. How many cars did they say have been stolen since the start of the new year?
Megan, Dayton police says nearly 60 Kias and Hyundais have been stolen, and most of them are newer make and models. They also tell me children as young as 12 years old have taken these cars, and most of them are repeater offenders. The community crime map shows residents where the car thefts have happened across Dayton and shows if your car is on the list. A local repair shop tells me once the car are returned, these are the issues you may see.
They break the steering column. It doesn't lock in place no more. So you got to replace the mechanism in here. The turning signals don't work or the wipers don't work. And then also it could affect the airbag.
So, Clara, how can car owners keep their cars safe then?
Well, Dayton police say, please do not leave your car keys in your car, and also to invest in a wheel lock. This will have criminals think twice before stealing your car. Reporting live in Miami's Bird, Clara Faith, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Clara, thank you. The Dayton Police Department asking for your help tonight with a missing person case. Take a good look. This is Sierra Chapman. We're told her disappearance is considered suspicious. Now, Chapman is 30 years old, 5'5", 115 pounds. She's got black hair and brown eyes. Last seen in the early morning hours of December 27th, leaving her ex-boyfriend's apartment in Trotwood. Now, Chapman was still driving her silver 2014 Cadillac, which was later recovered in Middletown last Friday without her in it. Her purse and other personal items were found in the car, but again, there was no sign of her.
She's a Dayton resident, went to Trotwood to do the exchange, and we know she left there, or her car left there, based upon video evidence, but she had not been seen since. No phone contact with her. We don't have any financial records where she had used money, which is very, very odd. So we are following on multiple leads and trying to bring Sierra home.
So please take another look now. If you see Sierra Chapman or know anything about her disappearance, please contact Dayton Police, 333-COPS, or Miami Valley Crime Stoppers at 222-STOP. You can also share a tip at MiamiValleyCrimeStoppers.com, and as always, you can remain anonymous.
Tonight, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is releasing new information about a deadly crash. Lydia Bice is at the Now Desk for us. And Lydia, when did this happen?
Well, the crash happened on New Year's Day around 7 p.m. in the 5900 block of Germantown Pike in Jefferson Township. One adult and two children were killed. Now, the crash involved a gold 2000 Chevy Suburban and a blue 2014 Chevy Traverse.
Lydia, have investigators said who was at fault here?
Well, they're still trying to put the pieces together and are seeking witnesses who saw the vehicles driving before the crash. Now, if you have any information or saw either of the vehicles that day, you are urged to call the number at the bottom of your screen. Back to you.
Lydia, thanks. The latest tonight after classified documents had been discovered in several locations tied to President Biden. The discovery leading the U.S. Attorney General to name a special counsel to oversee the investigation. Sensitive documents were found in President Biden's personal library at his home in Delaware, as well as his garage and at an office he used in Washington. Now, Biden acknowledged the findings, says he's cooperating with the DOJ. Now, Special Counsel Robert Hur is tasked with investigating whether any person or entity violated the law by mishandling classified information.
I will ensure that Mr. Hur receives all the resources he needs to conduct his work. As I have said before, I strongly believe that the normal processes of this department can handle all investigations with integrity. But under the regulations, the extraordinary circumstances here require the appointment of a special counsel for this matter.
Now, Garland praised Hur's distinguished career and work on high-profile matters. Now, he was appointed by President Biden to serve as, or President Trump, excuse me, then President Trump, to serve as U.S. Attorney in Maryland. And White House officials there are being accused of not being transparent enough about the discovery of the latest batch of documents. They're now facing questions on why the public wasn't informed about the second batch of those documents when the initial ones were addressed earlier this week. The White House press secretary gave few details, and that prompted heated moments at today's press briefing.
And then that there's going to be a limit in transparency, public, non-legal transparency, and what can be shared and said by this way.
I disagree. I disagree, Ed. There has not been a limit of transparency. There has not been a limit of transparency.
Now, the press secretary repeatedly emphasized that the case is under review by the Department of Justice.
The Republican head of the House Select Committee on Intelligence, Congressman Mike Turner, has requested a classified briefing from both the Attorney General and the Director of National Intelligence on this matter. Turner, in fact, sent this letter to both of them today. It says in part, in its oversight role, Congress has a responsibility to investigate and to evaluate the actions of the executive branch agencies to ensure they are accountable to the people. He goes on to say, I request a briefing by you no later than January 26, 2023, concerning your perceived risk to national security, end quote. Turner spoke with CNN earlier today on these findings and the comparisons between this situation and the document findings at Mar-a-Lago.
Just the callousness of this being in boxes in the back of the garage shows you the disparate treatment between the two, the irony between the Biden administration's treatment of Trump and the fact that this is now an issue for President Biden, I think is something that the American people take note of.
Now, neither the Attorney General or the Director of National Intelligence have responded to Turner's letter as of tonight.
All right, to weather now. We had plenty of rain, that's for sure today. Tim is in for Natalie. That rain trend going to continue, do you think?
No, the rain's moving on out of here, but we're switching over to some snow. We're going to see some snowflakes, northeast of us, maybe a little bit of light accumulation. Down here for Dayton, though, we're seeing a few spotty little areas, but nothing in the way of accumulation expected. Taking a look at a big picture, you can see we have moved way up here, those purples and blues indicating where the snow's at. Green's obviously still indicating where the rain. Quickly pulling out, though, we'll see a few isolated snow showers through the rest of the night into the day tomorrow. Headlines, though, switch over to snow. Scattered snow through the day tomorrow. Once again, very light, maybe a light dusting on some surfaces. And then a really amazing Saturday ahead. We have plenty of sunshine, just a little bit chilly.
All right, thanks so much. The South dealing with the aftermath of severe storms tonight. In Alabama, a large tornado caused significant damage. Here's a look at some of the destroyed buildings, homes there without roofs, trees and power lines snapped and scattered debris everywhere. The National Weather Service says a large tornado hit just west of Montgomery shortly after noon. Now, meanwhile, this video was taken about 60 miles east. It shows a tornado spotted close to a highway. At this time, it's still not clear if this was the same twister or another one. Emergency personnel in the state, though, are now trying to pick up the pieces.
Structural damage, trees down, power lines down, and the area is very difficult to access due to debris. They are working house to house and area to area, looking for people who may be entrapped and those who are injured.
Now, these are just a few of more than a dozen reported tornadoes that tore through the southeast and also the Ohio Valley. In Alabama, at least 5 deaths have been reported tonight.
And a northern Kentucky city coming together after a tornado touched down in Williamstown. Now, Christian Hauser talked to the family that had their roof ripped right off.
These are pictures of what Diane Porter's family home looked like immediately after the storm rolled through. She heard the warning sirens alerting her the potential for a tornado was there.
So I called my husband and we got in the closet in the center of the house.
Then came the rain.
The pressure in the house, I could feel like a pressure change in the house, and I felt there was a loud noise, like a pop, and it left as quick as it came.
Porter thought everything was okay, but then she heard water dripping.
I went to check through the house and saw water coming through the drywall in the ceiling and went outside and half our roof was gone.
She went outside to see how bad the damage was.
Walked farther out in the yard and turned around and looked at the roof. It was gone. Half of the roof was gone and water was coming in. I checked went around through the house. I checked our master bathroom and it was full of water, flooded with water. So it did quite a bit of damage.
Several people stopped by to see the damage here and at the nearby Helping Hands thrift shop. It suffered extensive damage and had part of its roof torn off as well. In Williamstown, I'm Christian Hauser. Back to you.
The man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students will remain in jail. A judge ordered Brian Kohberger remain held without bail at a hearing today. Kohberger waived his right to a speedy trial, and his attorney filed a request for discovery to the evidence against him. Investigators say DNA evidence links Kohberger to the murder scene. The 28-year-old faces up to life in prison or death if convicted. Preliminary hearing now set for June.
An Air Force pilot who was accounted for back in September of 2022 has been identified as an Ohio resident. 23-year-old First Lieutenant Carl Nesbitt was killed during World War II. The Lima resident was declared non-recoverable back in 1953. In order to identify Nesbitt's remains, we're told scientists used dental and anthropological analysis as well as circumstantial and material evidence. He'll now be laid to rest on May 15th in Pennsylvania. New mental health initiatives tonight as suicide and overdose rates see a steady increase across the Miami Valley. Melena Brown spoke with mental health care providers and city officials about what new programs you can expect to see this year.
Since the start of the pandemic, the mental health crisis has been increasing across the country, but especially here in Dayton. According to the Montgomery County Public Health Department, drug abuse, overdoses, and rates of suicide are higher here than overall in the United States. And while these numbers are alarming, there are community members and organizations hoping to create programs that are going to alleviate some of these issues.
We'll be doing focus groups throughout different areas in our community and different sectors, and that's when we really want to hear from those that have been specifically impacted by this issue.
The Montgomery County Commissioners and the Greater Dayton Area Hospital Association hopes that this new task force will bring together community voices to find solutions. For Dayton 24/7 Now News, I'm Melena Brown.
Melena, thanks. Well, after 27 years on death row, one man getting a second chance, but not just yet. Why the new trial for a man convicted of murder has now been delayed.
And the Montgomery County Clerk of Court's office helping some of the Miami Valley's most vulnerable. The donation that they made to Dayton Children's NICU today.
We have a chill down on the way tomorrow. Coming up, I'll show you how long we can expect that to stick around. Here's a look at your Eco Plumber Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of Elvis Presley, has died. She was hospitalized late last night following a cardiac arrest. Now, Presley had been seen earlier that same day at the Golden Globe Awards. In addition to being Elvis's daughter, she is also well known for her brief marriage to Michael Jackson. Presley was just 54 years old.
Live pictures over San Francisco tonight as more heavy rain expected to hit the state in the coming days. California has been battered by rain in recent weeks. The National Weather Service says that the state has received roughly 50 to 70% of the amount of precipitation that it would usually get in an entire year in 16 days. So far, at least 18 people have died in the storms. That storm is causing flooding so severe, in fact, the peninsula in central California may become an island.
If you see road closures, it is imperative that you do not attempt to traverse these roads. Please turn around and don't drown.
The Salinas River has surged at least 15 feet over the past week, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. Could continue flooding until Sunday. Residents of that peninsula are being urged to evacuate. State officials also asking other state residents to avoid any non-essential travel.
Alrighty, as the rain that we received today has moved off to the northeast, that low pressure went with it, and we are now getting this northwesterly flow of air. So we're getting this cooler air brought into the region. 32 in Bellefontaine right now, 34 in Greenville and Richmond, and 37 right here in Dayton. So temperatures rapidly dropping through the night. It was just 39 degrees about an hour ago. So we're going to see a decrease through the rest of the night. 10-day trend, though, staying cold Friday through Monday, relatively speaking. Friday looking the coldest, right at 33 degrees. And then we have another warm-up coming mid to late week next week, with temperatures possibly reaching 50 by Tuesday and then possibly even 60 by next Thursday.
A man convicted in the 1994 murder of a woman at a local hotel has to wait another day to find out if he can be released while awaiting a new trial. Last month, the judge granted Elwood Jones a new trial after he spent 27 years on death row. James Pilcher explains the reason for this delay.
A jury convicted Elwood Jones of the 1994 murder of Rhoda Nathan of New Jersey at a Blue Ash Hotel more than 2 years after the crime. A month later, the same jury sentenced him to death, and he's been in prison ever since. Last month, Hamilton County Common Pleas Court Judge Wendy Cross granted a new trial in the case. She ruled prosecutors at the time didn't give key evidence to Jones's defense team. The two sides were supposed to argue whether Jones could be allowed bail Thursday, but prosecutors said they didn't expect a hearing and thought it was just a status conference. They told the judge Nathan's family had not been notified as required by Marcy's law. So Judge Cross delayed the hearing another day. The Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office declined comment in an email.
Now, the Dayton unit of the NAACP is holding its 54th annual inauguration ceremony tonight. It was held at St. Luke Missionary Baptist Church in Dayton. Several officers and executive committee members were inaugurated during that event.
I'm just thrilled that the citizens of Dayton has chosen to re-elect me to my 9th term as president of the Dayton unit in ACP. We do this job, we do this work together because we are people who understand that the Lord has given us certain knowledge, skills, and ability, KSAs, to help people.
This event was free and open to the public, and you can learn more about the local chapter at naacpdayton.org.
And a good news update to a story we first brought you yesterday. Toby, the service dog, has returned home after his owner said he went missing. Now, his owner, Karen Gibson, was bringing in groceries when she said Toby disappeared. Gibson feared Toby had been stolen. Turns out he just crossed the street, ended up at a nearby speedway station. A woman who worked at that speedway had her daughter pick up Toby after seeing the story on the news, and she was able to give Gibson the dog back, who was, of course, overjoyed to see him. They'll now return home to Texas.
And the Montgomery County Auditor's Office presenting 2023 dog licenses to canines of local police departments. Canines Riggs, Buck, and Maverick and their handlers were all recognized with licenses today for their services. That includes tracking missing persons, detecting illegal drugs, recovering evidence, and apprehending criminals. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office says they use this opportunity to remind the community to renew their dog licenses. Renewals are due at the end of the month.
The Montgomery County Clerk of Courts donating new clothes to the NICU at Dayton Children's Hospital today. Over the holidays, office employees raised money for the desperately needed donation. They were able to buy $900 worth of onesies, sleepers, and bodysuits for the hospital. There's about 32 babies in the NICU right now. That's a higher number than usual.
We rely on community support. We're a nonprofit here at Dayton Children's, and so we really partner with individuals, corporations, foundations, other organizations here in the community to help make a difference when a child is discharged from the NICU. It gives them something as a going away present, or those just in case scenarios that they might need an extra piece of clothing for a kiddo during their stay. So that goes a long way.
This is the 4th year that they've done this donation, and they say it grows every year.
A live look now from our Eco Plumbers Sky Cam. Rain and even some snow. The story of the day. Forecaster Tim Boyd is in for Natalie tonight. Hopefully that's going to change, though.
Yeah, we're not expecting a lot in the way of snow. This system is pooling out as it is already. Through the night, it's going to continue to do that. Temperatures are going to drop down into the low 30s. We could see some scattered to isolated snow showers through the night. And then once again, through the day tomorrow, as those winds blow out of the northwest, bringing in that colder air with it. By the end of the afternoon and through the early morning of Saturday, we're going to start to see those clouds clear out of the area. And then by dinner time, lunchtime and dinner time Saturday, we're going to have a pretty nice day on our hands. Plenty of sunshine, should be blue skies, and temperatures close to about 40 degrees. So if we get enough sunshine and there's not any clouds in there, we could approach the 40-degree mark. We'll know a little bit more closer to that actual day, though. So tonight, temperatures dropping down to around 30, 32 degrees. A few light flurries. Other than that, nothing really heavy expected out of it, and winds out of the northwest around 15 to 20 miles per hour.
All right, thanks, Tim. The Flyers preparing to take on the VCU Rams tomorrow night. How UD has prepared as they try to remain unbeaten in Atlantic 10 play. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Hello, I'm Matt Digby with a look at sports. UD men's basketball is the last remaining Atlantic 10 team unbeaten in conference play, and the Flyers have a late contest Friday night at home with a 9 p.m. tip-off. It will be VCU visiting the Miami Valley tomorrow. The Rams right behind the Flyers in the A-10 standings. Now, both teams won on the road in the regular season meetings last year, but for Dayton this year, they're on a 7-game win streak, and most of those wins have come with only 7 or 8 different players available. But the Flyers say they're expecting a challenging game from VCU, regardless of how many players are available Friday night.
We just got to obviously get our guys as prepared as we can. They give you a lot of different looks, and that's one area for us that we have to get better at, taking care of the basketball, and VCU poses some challenges there. So, yeah, we've got to try to do the best we can today to make sure we got the right mindset.
But that's just adapting, and having mental toughness, being able to play with that amount of players. It's obviously not the best when you don't have your full roster, but being able to, go with the flow and play with what we have, and I feel like we've done a good job with that.
So only one more day until the Flyers and Rams. Also only one more day until the 20th edition of the Beacon Orthopedics Flying to the Hoop Showcase. For those in charge of putting on the event, the last few hours have been busy, making sure out-of-area teams have been able to arrive among other preparations. Now, the event's founder says it's always a thrill once the weekend formally starts, and he is looking forward to another successful year.
It's always the calm before the storm. Getting a lot of last-minute things packed up, notifying the teams of any last-minute reminders, doing some continual pre-sales on the event, knocking on wood that Mother Nature is going to be kind to us this year, it looks like, but I never hold it past her to have some sort of snowstorm up her sleeve. We're giving kids a chance to be on a national stage where they might not get a chance to be on a national stage. We have seen countless instances where kids have gotten scholarships to play at the next level because they had a great showing here at Flying to the Hoop.
Now, the game starts at 6:30 Friday evening at Trent Arena. Omni Academy from Finland will play around 8 o'clock tomorrow. The first games involving area teams will be on Saturday.
Well, from TikTok to retirement. Up next, how a viral video helped an 82-year-old finally leave his day job.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
From TikTok to retirement, an 82-year-old Walmart employee is now able to retire after a chance encounter on the app. Rory McCarty met Butch Marion on a shopping trip to Walmart and was blown away that he was still working at his age. So Marion had been working at Walmart for 16 years, and McCarty posted a TikTok and started a GoFundMe that then went viral.
Everything took off, and I mean took off, and it was just unreal.
I'm excited for him. Because it couldn't happen to a more deserving, person.
Get this, more than $140,000 has since been raised on that GoFundMe. The Navy veteran can now retire from his day job.